Hi everyone. I wanted to share with you some gardening tips that I have learned along the way. Now the weather is really heating up and I was out today in the garden centers and the nurseries, and one of the main concerns that I had when talking to a lot of the people there is the lack of knowledge by reading the plant tags. Now let me just put this out as a disclaimer. I am not a garden teacher. I'm not a teacher, but I'm hoping this video will at least help someone who's just starting out, because I've seen a lot of people with beautiful plants in their carts, but I don't think they read the label, or they just don't understand. They just want something beautiful in their space. So what I want to do today is I just want to go over how to read the plant tags, and I'm hoping that it will help somebody. Now I bought these two Spanish lavender because I am going to put these in my flower bed. And that's why I say I'm not a teacher, because let me turn around here and show you what I did to this same type of Spanish lavender last year. And everything is a trial and error, but I do tend to read the plant tag. So let me just turn around here and let me show you. This is Spanish lavender from last year. Dead. It's dead, dead, dead. And I think it died because I cut it back too far. Gardening is a learning process, and I did learn on the internet that you're not supposed to cut it back no more than 1/3. This plant was so pretty in this pot, and I just started, I think I showed you on one garden tour that maybe about half of it started dying, and so I thought, okay, it's getting cool, let me cut it down. And then I cut it down to here, and it just is dead. So I gotta pull that. But that's the two lavenders that I bought. They're not going there. But anyway, let me go ahead and let's get started with the plant tags, because this is what this video is about. And like I said, I hope that it will help somebody who's just starting out, or just who doesn't know how to read the plant tag. So anyway, let me go ahead and I'll pan back around. Not all labels are the same, but they pretty much will give you the basic information so that you can be able to have a beautiful and flowering and very vibrant plant. So let's go ahead and we'll start at the top. And this is basically telling us that this is a perennial, which means this plant should come back year after year. And then it's telling you that it needs full sun. And normally when it says full sun, that means you need about 6+ hours of full sun for this plant to like thrive and grow very beautifully and very vibrant and colorful. Normally you'll have either part sun or shade, but this is telling you wherever you put this plant at, it needs to get at least 6 hours of sun. And then it's just the name lavender. A lot of plant tags I notice now are telling you which plants are deer resistant, because a lot of people have problems with deers eating their plants. So this is deer resistant and it's drought tolerant. And most places, depending on your zone, will sell plants that are for that zone. Now we're in zone 8B, so it gets hot, it gets humid, and so we definitely need drought tolerant plants that can be able to still survive with all that heat. And right here is telling us this is a spreading plant. So you have some plants that grow upright, and then you have others that spread. You have some that mound. So just depending on where you want to put these plants in your area or in your space or garden, it tells you how the plant grows. So next, let's go ahead and we'll turn over and we'll go over the back. Okay, so we flipped up here, and this is telling us when this plant blooms. It blooms from late spring through summer. So basically 2 seasons, you'll get some beautiful purple blooms here. And I love this type of lavender because I just love these blooms here. But you'll get, so we'll get blooms from about late spring through summer. And then also the height is about 24 inches. The height and the spacing to me is very important. And let me tell you a quick story that my husband shared with me about someone that he had met while he was out processing in the military, who they bought a new home, and it was a tree that was still, you know, in the first beginning stages, and he planted this tree really close to his house without looking at the plant label. And so what happened about 5 years down the line, his concrete to his driveway was coming up, breaking because the roots were growing, and he jeopardized his home too because of it being very close to the home. So it was messing with the foundation, and he had to get that tree pulled because he didn't read the label to see that the height of the tree, and you also want to look at the width or the space. Right here, these are the same things. I've seen some where they say the width, but 24 inches. So just say, for instance, you're layering your garden, and you have all different type of plants. Well, you don't want to put this plant that grows 24 inches in the front behind maybe, or in front of like annuals that don't get but like maybe 12 inches, 10 or 12 inches in height, because this plant will cover up the other plants. So just depending on what you're planting, and you know how tall it gets, you'll know how to layer your plants. So this gets 24, and then the spacing also, it'll tell you if you're if you're planting multiple lavenders like this, then you need to space it and plant it about 12 to 24 inches apart, because that's how wide it's going to grow. If you go planting these two plants 2 or 3 inches apart, you're not giving them enough space to grow, and they're going to compete for nutrients. They're going to compete for that area, and somebody is going to lose. So you want to give them enough space to be able to grow and to grow beautifully. So next we have the hardiness. This is really important, but like I said, most nurseries and garden centers should have available plants that are particular for that zone. So we're in zone 8B, and the hardiness is down to 10 degrees. So this basically means that if you are in a zone that gets in the negative in the winter, this is not going to survive. It's not going to survive at all. Or it may survive if you have it in a pot and you bring it in for the winter, maybe put it in a basement or garage, then it'll probably survive that way. But it's not guaranteed to survive if it goes below 10 degrees. And it tells you also how to water this. You want to water it weekly, but in order to get the roots established, you may want to water it more often. Normally, when you're planting things and you just put them in ground and you want to get those roots established, you don't want those roots or the plants to dry out. You want to keep them nice and watered until they get established, and then you can, water them less often. So I have one more plant tag that I want to share with you, just so you can see when you're out shopping what to look for and what to think about in the area that you're going to plant these plants. Okay, so here's another plant label that looks different, but it basically tells you the same information. And I so love these plants right here. I'm really considering going back and getting one. But okay, so in the top left corner, you see that it is a perennial. It is also part sun, so it needs about 4 to 6 hours of sun. You don't want to put it in a spot where the sun will be beaming down on it all day, because you can definitely risk the chance of the foliage being burnt and the plant not doing that good with too much sun. It also gets about 1 to 2 feet in height, 1 to 2 feet in width, and is hardy to 10 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's zone 8 through 10 if you're going to grow it as a perennial. Okay, so once we flip it over, we get some more good information, some information about the plant. And then we also get the bloom time, the type of flowers. You get some nice blue flowers. and the growth rate, which is also good, so you'll know if it's a fast or slow grower. It tells you about the soil. You'll need some well-drained soil. You need to do about medium watering, and the pruning, you don't need to do any, and it just basically tells you when to fertilize, which is to fertilize yearly in spring. So this gives a little bit more detailed information, which I like. It also gives some planting instructions too. But you know, most labels are going to give you the basic information, so it just basically depends on the type of plant or what company is making the plant. But you need to know the gardening basics before you go getting a bunch of plants, and also have an idea of where you're going to put that plant, you know, like the label said, whether it's part sun or if you need somewhere with shade. So you want to take that into consideration before you even bring the plant home. Know where you're going to put it. Don't do like me and just bring it home and look around and just find a place to put it. Try to have in your mind at least an area that you want to put it in. Okay, so I hope this video will be able to help someone who is just getting into gardening. It definitely goes over the basics to help you create a beautiful area, no matter where or what you plant in. And if you know someone that is getting into gardening, definitely share this video with them so that it'll help them along the way and not make a whole bunch of mistakes and be disappointed. And thank you so much for watching this video. And if you're not a subscriber, we would definitely love to have you as a subscriber. So make sure you tap the bell so that you can receive notification each and every time we upload a video. Again, thank you so much for watching. And until the next video, bye-bye.